This is Premium Times Half Hour every Thursday at 11 a.m.
I start this podcast with a story of Miriam Abubakar, who had been in labor for days because there was no childbirth facility in her neighborhood. She had to embark on 70-kilometer trip from her hometown in Yobe State to Jigawa State. Hours after she arrived at Jahun General Hospital in Jigawa, she had a stillbirth through cesarean operation. The stillbirth was not all that scarred her life. The doctors at the facility later told her that due to her prolonged labor, she had a vesicovaginal fistula. As a result, her husband divorced her and married another woman. According to Lancet, a medical journal, vesicovaginal fistula is a serious medical disorder characterized by an abnormal opening between the vagina and the bladder or rectum, which results in continuous leakage of urine or stool. In this podcast, we narrowed in on the issues women who suffered from vesicovaginal fistula face. I'm speaking on this issue with Premium Times' correspondent who covered this report, Ahmadu. I'm Titi Lokwe Fadare, and welcome to Premium Times Half Hour.
This is Premium Times Half Hour every Thursday at 11 a.m.
On this podcast show, we discuss important issues and matters of national importance. Premium Times is Nigeria's leading investigative and accountability platform, and we bring this show to you weekly as part of our mandate of providing the information you need to make informed decisions. The show spotlights exclusive reports produced by Premium Times reporters, from in-depth investigations and unique analyses to human angle stories. Before I delve into today's discussion, I'll share some important stories we published during the week. The first article is an editorial titled, "Keeping All Options Open in Resolving Nigeria's Banditry." The report notes that the most significant appointments of President Bola Tinubu were those of the security chiefs. In addition to these, the article urged the president as the nation's security chief officer to start intervening in the country's security sector by prosecuting the 400 terror financiers identified by former President Ahmadu Buhari's regime. Another report published by Premium Times is an analysis that focused on the real reasons Nigeria has a food security problem. They include poverty, climate change, conflict and insecurity, increasing population, poor policy implementation, inefficient agricultural practices, post-harvest losses, and low budgetary allocation to agriculture, among others. Lastly, a special report published looked into an Anambra community where residents live in fear due to the forecasted rains following fatal floods experienced in 2022. You can read up on this report on our website at www.premiumtimesng.com. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll continue the conversation on vesicovaginal fistula. Stay tuned.
This is Premium Times Half Hour every Thursday at 11 a.m.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Premium Times Half Hour brought to you on Premium Times' podcast. I'm Titi Lokwe Fadare. I am with Ahmadu, Premium Times' correspondent, who did a report that narrowed in on the lives of women suffering from vesicovaginal fistula. Before I start engaging with Meshanu, let's dive into more details on vesicovaginal fistula. According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, between 400,000 and 800,000 Nigerian women are living with vesicovaginal fistula, and between 50,000 and 100,000 new cases are added every year. It is considered one of the most serious and tragic childbirth injuries that often lead to depression, social isolation, and deepening poverty. It is prevalent in Nigeria due to the existence of some cultural practices including child marriage, female genital mutilation, and poor access to healthcare facilities. I'd like to ask, first of all, what motivated you to write this report?
As you know, both me and you, we are all trained by our teachers and editors to focus more on impactful human interest stories than the usual official press releases.
Yeah.
Last year I was supposed to be among a group of reporters invited by Doctors Without Borders. That is the SMF.
Yeah. Okay.
To cover an event. Yes. To cover an event in Jahun. That's Jigawa State. However, somehow I missed that event. But I later got a press release of what transpired at the event, which is about the activities of the SMF in the state regarding the VVF.
All right.
Yes, I found that there is a bigger story to report in the press release.
Okay.
Than reporting what was contained in the press statement.
Oh, I see.
Yes, the press release is the motivating factor that came with the story idea. That is how I came about reporting the story.
Okay, and I must applaud you for that, because I mean it's rare for you to go beyond. It's rare for journalists actually to look beyond what is being said in a press release, and for you to go further, dig further, and then come about this special report. So you, based on what I read in the report, you highlighted the 3 stories of women who have suffered from this VFF, and from these 3 stories rather, 2 of them were stigmatized and abandoned or divorced by their husbands. But for one of them, you mentioned that the husband stayed with the boys. It's actually in a rare case. But based on your reports, I mean, these women were treated by the Doctors Without or Medicine Without Borders. If they are treated and if the disease is curable, why is it that the society is still stigmatizing them even when they know that the disease can be cured?
Okay, TC, I think for me, based on my observations during the assignment, the stigma is because of inadequate awareness.
Okay.
The PVF is a kind of disease that the patient and their relatives do not want to talk about it because of shame.
Okay.
And shaming and isolation are worsening the situation for them. Also, and that also formed the basis for the report. That is from my own part, to report and inform the readers and the policymakers, the partners, that the disease is curable, preventable, when the right things are done. That is after the surgery.
All right.
So yes, the patient can still conceive and deliver babies, which is the belief in their locality that once you have that BBF, you can no longer conceive, you can give birth. So you see men, or let me say, suitors running away from you just because you have that incident that you have already finishing the treatment.
All right. So now that you mentioned that in the report you mentioned that stigmatization is one of the major challenge that these women face even after getting cured. Did you meet any woman who has actually gone through the correctional surgery and has remarried, or her husband accepted her back after the operation, the surgery?
One thing about those the DVF patients, most of them are married women.
Okay.
They stay in the marriage after this. they stay in their marriage. Some of them, that is after the surgery.
Okay.
Some got divorced after the surgery.
Okay.
And some while undergoing surgery, their husband also divorced them.
Wow.
So the prolonged stay in the hospital, that is due to this lack of surgeons, or let me say doctors, is also complicating their conditions.
Oh wow.
I met one of the women that was treated, and she's VVF free. She got married. She was remarried again. Later, she was divorced. But I learned that the divorce was not linked to the VVF. It's because of something very different.
Okay. All right.
And even she herself, she chose to stay back from to stay away from marriage. She chose to be going around sensitizing some women who have such condition like her before.
Okay.
Enlightening them, giving them hope and courage that life is normal, so they can do their life. Because she used to tell them she's like a living example. Yes.
All right. So, the first person you narrowed in on, Miriam Abubakar, her case, the VVF occurred as a result of prolonged labor, and that means it's as a result of maternal issue. So, but I suspect there will be cases like this in other parts of the country due to poor healthcare service delivery. I mean, in our own case, that she didn't have a nearby health facility to go to deliver her baby, so she had to travel to another state for it. And I think we have similar occurrences of people not having like primary healthcare centers in their communities to go to deliver their babies, and as a result, they can have prolonged labor. But in your report, you focused on the health facility in Jigawa State that is run by the international NGO Doctors Without Borders. Are there like other treatment centers of this nature across Nigeria?
Yes, there are many treatment centers across Nigeria, especially in the north. I just focus on the Jigawa because Jigawa State once because it's been run by the foreign doctors, and that place is very much functional. And it is the only center that is being supported by the MSF doctors in Nigeria, treating only that particular aspect. That is the BVF. But for instance, in Kano has the oldest BVF treatment center, which was founded in 1987, and that center is now known as Laure Fistula Center, which in 1987 it has 48 bed space capacity, admitting only women with that particular problem. But now, it's now left with only 10 bed space.
Okay.
Even though the disease, the incident is still being reported.
But so, you mentioned that it was 48 and now 10. What was the issue? Because I mean, based on the UNICEF statistics, I mean the case is still recurring. So how come the bed space has reduced from 48 to 10?
Maybe if you can understand at the beginning, I said that there is poor awareness on this thing. So the victims are dying silently on this issue. So the thing, there's more cases, but unfortunately for the victims, for those that got affected, the number of doctors are also reducing. The centers are dying. So I think in the whole of northern Nigeria, it is only that Jahun in Jigawa State that is now admitting more patients coming from different places. But the one in Kano is you can say is now it's not even functioning based on the official record that I got recently in that center.
Can you share?
And one thing is very important, Titi, in this thing. The treatment in that area is free.
Oh wow! Okay, that's good. So the women just go to the health facility and they do. Do you know like how much this surgery costs for them? For a
assuming that from what I learned is that there was one of the patients that I met in that Japan hospital. She told me that she spent much money, maybe around 200,000 somewhere in Bauchi State, before finally she came down to the Javan Center for the treatment, where she's now being treated for free.
Oh, I see.
This is Premium Times Half Hour every Thursday at 11 a.m.
Now, when you were on the field, were there like memorable moments that you had while interacting? Like, were there things that some of the women said or things that you saw that really, touched the human part of you, and that maybe for some reason you just had to leave out of your reports? Or things that didn't make it to the report that you were really maybe touched by?
Some kind of a story, you have to be very careful with your emotions, because things are not going the way they are. When somebody tells you his own part of the story, if care's not taken, you too, you will shed tears for him, because from what I heard from them, it's very, very terrifying. As a human, I don't think a normal human being will look will went to a lady and sought for hands in marriage. And one important thing that is very, very key in marriage is to have a child. And that woman, she deliver the baby for you. Some of the babies they survive, but the mother, she's into a very bad condition. But the husband chose to abandon her. But he went and took care and took over the care of the baby while the woman is dying in the hospital. I think that was the most hardest part of the story that I understand in that assignment. And one thing is that also, sorry, in the report, I was unable to tell the story of many other patients who are willing to share with me how they are to share with me their own part of the story, because I can't report almost everything in just a single report. Unless, if to say I will give the story part, I will write almost 10 parts of this particular issue, because there are so many stories about them to tell. The story is very touching. Yes, and again, the women, they are being confined in a place like prisoners.
Oh, why is that?
So yes, I think it's because of the nature of their illness. When you look at what is happening there, but once you reach there, you know that this place is different. Even though the place is being managed very well with the presence of the doctors without borders. The place is very hygienic, but the women are being confined and restricted in that particular place. That place is like no-go area in the hospital. So that also contributed to people thinking that those people, they have their problem. I think, if I may suggest, they can leave that place open so that this women, they'll be free. Let other people come into to the hospital. Let them see what is happening there. Maybe from there they will learn something about what are the main causes of this fistula issue, which I mentioned in the report: early marriage, bad practices, and poor access to medical facilities. So I think that was also a major part that I didn't capture in my report, which I hope that at the end the officials, they will take care of it.
All right, so on a final note, the UNICEF said it may take up to 83 years to clear the backlog of cases at the current rate of repair. I mean, you even mentioned that in
Yes, in my report.
Yes, you mentioned that in northern Nigeria, Jigawa State is that the Jigawa facility is one that is most functioning in whole northern Nigeria, and that is that you can imagine the sort of pressure what blood pressure it would put on that particular facility. So this case is saying that it will take up to 83 years. And it appears to me as if there's some form of neglect, because again, even the one that is in Jigawa State is run by an international NGO. Why is it so that the government is not looking at this issue, or is not seeing that this issue is an important?
Yes, let me make some impression here. The place is being run by international NGO in collaboration with Gosset government.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and the backlogs of the cases, for me, like I say, it's a wake-up call to the government and the concerned parties across all levels of government to commit more resources to in that area, so that they will get quick repair. And more also, the government should focus more on the preventive means, by making healthcare service accessible and affordable in the vulnerable areas, and implementing laws in checking the problems and creating awareness.
All right.
That's it.
All right. But what would you have to say to the society, aside the government, investing into this issue? What would you have to say to the society with regards to stigmatization and discrimination against women who have suffered, or who is even suffering VVF?
Our society, the best thing that I would like them to know is that whoever you see in this world with sickness, it's not by his own making. It is something that, it's something that is being ordained either by God or by bad governance. So nobody is free. That if you are free today, you can't predict that tomorrow you are okay. So, and one thing about this fistula and their condition, people must know that in society, there's no way you come and marry a lady, and at the end, during childbirth, she has problem. You come back and you abandon her. You go and marry another lady again in the same society. Just put that in your mind. Had it been that lady was your daughter, how are you going to feel? So I think even at the society level, we have to wake up and fight this thing ourselves.
All right. Thank you so much, Mishanu, for even spotlighting this issue. And also bringing it, like making sure that policymakers, the society, and the government are aware that this issue is ongoing. The cases are recurring every year, and they need to take decisive steps to, help women who are in this situation, and possibly revamp the health sector so that issues like issues regarding not having a primary healthcare center to go to, for instance, can be resolved, and we can have more primary healthcare centers in at least wards, so that we will not have the recurrence of these cases, and prevalence of these cases can reduce. Thank you so much for sharing more details.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
This is where we wrap up today's episode. I hope you had a fantastic time with us. Please make sure you keep it a date with us on Premium Times Alpha every Thursday. Again, this show is brought to you by Premium Times, a leading multimedia news platform which serves you every minute stories that help you make informed decisions and hold public officials, individuals, and organizations accountable. We have cartoons, videos, podcasts, and other interesting content for your delight. And for timely updates on politics, entertainment, sports, and business, visit our website www.premiumtimesng.com and follow us on all our social media platforms. I'll be here again, same time, same day next week. From myself and Ahmadu, have a great weekend.
News beyond the surface. Investigations that uncover deep secrets. Analysis with thought-provoking perspectives. Reports that focus on human interest. Premium Times, a leading digital news platform, brings you these and more every hour through videos, written and podcast reports. Visit our website on www.premiumtimesng.com and follow us on all social media platforms for timely updates on politics, entertainment, sport and business. Don't miss out.